Alrighty, so we're building our custom baffle mark out tool. We got this cardboard taped to the wall. I just Sharpied it on the inside and we're gonna rip it off. We'll cut that out, some 3/16 steel. I still gotta weld in my 2 cross members, which I gotta get. We're gonna put Roger on YouTube today. He's been here a couple times now, but look at that. He's coming with some shiny paint. The old one was wore right the hell out. I think he just wanted to send us some new paint.
You always get your can of paint.
So there's a lot of work. A couple housings, bushings that were broken. Christop's gonna throw the grass knives in.
Later, because I wasn't planning on doing it now, but now it's gonna be later.
Yeah, and then a one shield behind the blower.
Backwards, right? Yes. So it pushes the feedback out.
Yes.
So, what was actually wrong with the old one? Just
shaft inside.
Okay, it's the outside didn't.
It's spun almost like a half.
The drive, the inside was gone.
Okay. So Roger's trying to save us from downtime. We didn't have to call him very much last year, so that's the goal. No phone calls to Roger is a good year. We don't get that lucky, but I think last year we made it till corn season.
Yes, it was a good year. If I call him once or twice, then it's not bad.
So I'm gonna continue on this. Some masking tape specialty right here. You'll see I got it marked out. It took me a little while to find a big enough sheet of cardboard since I've used up a couple just with the other tank. I used up one other big piece, but it's hard to get a piece this big that you haven't already used and soaked in oil and rolled up when you're crawling under machines. But that is what's going on. So we're cutting this out now. I chalked it. See, I used my cardboard cutout. Roger didn't think I was gonna get it right. He was right. I measured off the back of the tank, because I could tape it to it. Problem was the top of it settled a little with the back wall gone. So I was about 1 inch to 2 inches short on the top lip right here. From here, here, kind of around it. And then on the side, it was a 1/2 inch too shallow, just because it bowed a little with the ceiling dropping, which I kind of thought was gonna happen, but it's pretty hard to compensate for that back there when you need it here. So we cut it, and then Ferdy helped me inside. He held it. I took a tape measure and measured all the points, and I chalked on it. And now we're gonna try it, and hopefully I got it right with measuring it where I needed. You can see the little bullet points right there. It's professional grade. This is how the professionals build shit tanks. Roger's doing something here. He's pinching his fingers, I know that.
Gotta do what you gotta
do. So that is what's going on. I don't record because I forget. And then I remember once I'm doing something. Or already did it. Well, I got one sheet made. Took a while because I kept having to cut little chunks off, but that one fits good. And then I made the other side, which the other side is a couple inches less, and then it switches as it goes to the back. It flip-flops which side gets the longer and shorter. So I'm gonna take this smaller one in. It goes on this side right here, and you can see it made a crack mark right on the side. So I'll have to weld that shut and do the same on the other side. Put this left side in, and then I'll use this before I put it in and mark out the back too, because they'll be identical. And then I'll weld this other one in on the front. Then I'll put my cross members in, my 2. So that way the front part's done, and then since I marked the other two out, I'll be able to cut them and do the back half after. But we got the welder in there. And I got a fan now in the front. I got one underneath blowing up. I got that one now pushing this way, so that way the fumes leave right away. And I'll put my mask on when I'm in there. You got it on? Yeah. Ready. Got some ventilation in here. Yeah.
That's tight.
Tack that one. I don't know if when Christoph adjusted it, it might be colder than what you had it before.
I have it cold for the weld and I'll heat it
Yeah.
after.
Because he was welding that motor bracket yesterday. That.
I'll do this last so I can cut fire.
Yeah. Well, if you want to push it in, I can pack it. Pretty good. Tag it.
On the top.
I'll do the top now. Just try to push it a little bit. It doesn't need much. Yep. Okay, good there. Top. Yep, good. Oh, that did absolutely nothing.
What the hell are you welding?
No. Alrighty. Well, you can see we got the baffle in there. Both of them are welded. I welded front and back basically as much as possible. Some spots it wasn't perfect. Well, you laugh, but I'm gonna say it turned out. And yes, it's a little crooked because I just went off where the old mounting plates are. So I think the old ones were a little crooked in there too, or my new ones definitely are.
No one's gonna see it once there's a.
It's gonna be on YouTube now, and everyone's gonna think about that when this is hauling manure.
The rest of our lives.
Yeah. So that helped.
It's gonna be a little off balance though.
Yeah, but I lost not tonnage. I lost gallons of volume now putting that steel in. So now we got a 1/2-inch plate we're gonna put on the like this one right here in the front, and then I got another one outside to put on the bottom. We'll put those in. The bottom one's already missing here because it fell out, and then I cut the front one out. So I'm gonna put 2 new ones in. Do that next. Ferdy cut out my back ones.
Yeah.
And then I'll cut this all apart, but I didn't want to cut this one out until the front was done because it's holding some integrity together. Christoph is putting his knives in. You know it's dirty when even he has a mask on. But he cut these out for me. There and here, and where my other bar's over there. So that's how this is going. So we're working on my tank. I don't remember where I last recorded, but I am done the baffles. So it looks kind of twisty. I just went off what I had for good steel on the bottom and the front, and then ended up being a little twisted, but the front right comes over more than the front left, and then I saw that it's just kind of crossways as you come back. So this baffle is then shorter and this one's longer. Don't know why, but that's how they made it, probably just so the slosh is a little bit more covered. But I had a jack in there because when I did the back, because when I cut that crossbar out, which I still gotta put 2 new crossbars in this back part, but I gotta get steel and it's the weekend. And we just had other stuff going on Friday and didn't get to go into Valancourts to get those 2 flat stocks because I used it all in the front that I had. But I had to use a jack to lift up the ceiling and kind of round the ceiling again because when I cut it, it kind of popped down. But we made it work. It's welded all the way around on both sides of the plates, so welded good. You can see I burnt the paint, and then where the paint's not burnt, there's actually a good 90 steel in there. So I didn't actually weld to the side, but it's holding pretty good now. And then I cut the fill port out, which there wasn't really much of one left. There was nothing going into the tank anymore, so. And then you could see the holes right there, there. There's one right there on that corner. And then on the top, it's pretty rusty, so I'm cutting 6 feet back into the ceiling. That'll get rid of all these rust patches that have just developed, because this is where the most manure sits, because it's from the fill hole. So yeah, this is where I welded. So right here is 6 foot, and then I took a plate and marked 2 inches over. That way when I put the plate on here, it sits on some steel and just doesn't just fall in, but I don't have all this steel underneath it falling in like I do with the other tanks, because I'm using much thicker steel for this. So that way I don't have the tank rot out as fast, because this one's thicker and I'd like to keep the longevity of this one a lot longer. The other ones are too far gone, and much older tanks. So these holes, if I beat hard enough, they'll all look like this. And that thing's rotted, has holes around it. That one does because of all the flexing, so I'll have to tack a weld on there. And then one of those pipe holders also cracked, so I'll have to weld that up. But we're gonna replace this, and then we're gonna extend this tank while we're at it and figure that all out. But one step at a time. We're going to cutting now. We got Alex's truck in here. We are gonna get some plastic fenders for this from Charlie Boys, hopefully this week. We had kind of silver ones on it, but with the floaters, it does make it harder to be able to cover them. And we had it on there, and then Alex came out of a driveway, kind of a little too sideways, and twisted the tank a little, and it caught it and ripped it right off. So, and those are bent to shit now, so we gotta put new ones on. But I do want fenders back on it. It throws a lot of mud onto the back of the truck. At least the front two. The back ones are always covered by the trailer that's on it. And I never did show what happened in corn season last year to that truck. She had a driveway accident, basically, and
Got lucky.
She got lucky. She didn't see where I parked the white truck because I had to get on the bunk real quick to help Marcus. And she drove right by the white truck, but when she was backing up, she didn't remember that she just drove by the truck. And she was backing up the little corn bunk, and she smashed this whole right side into the box of the white Western Star. Took this mirror, shoved it forwards. It only broke this little one, which I already replaced. It just tilted this forwards. It took this air canister, shoved it right into the hood, smashed this back piece, and smashed this hood up a little bit, and did some damage. We did have it wire tied shut for the finishing up last year, spreading and everything. It did. No, Alex was done driving that day. She went and fed calves and was done. She was so mad because she loves this truck. You guys remember we had to put a different engine into it because she wanted this truck back, and the engine that was in it, basically the crank was bad and everything, so we had to get a different engine for it. But besides the fact, when this happened, she was so mad. So I was trying to find a hood for it, and I wrote someone on Marketplace, but they never wrote me back because I think it was gonna fit. But maybe I can get a hood for it. It's a what year is this? 2001?
No,
Oh no, this is a 1999 4964 FX Western Star. Maybe someone has a hood. I need a hood and this back piece right here, behind here. The hood was kind of mangled a little bit, but the year we did the engine and the paint job on it, we fixed it all up real good. We did put a new bumper on it. The bumper got messed up at a different time. One was one of our guys, he was way too close and hit it with the harrows. The truck was stuck in the field and he came up way too close to pull it out and somehow put that into a 90. This one got hit on a stone backing up a different time, but so we're gonna buy a new bumper for this thing, but I do want to find a hood because it doesn't look horrible, but the integrity of it, we just welded it up. The integrity is not really there, but it looks great going down the road on the driver's side. You can't see it, but we'll fix that up for her because she did. Well, she didn't just ask. She told Christoph it's getting fixed, right? It wasn't really. It wasn't questioned. She wants her truck looking shit worthy again. Shit hauling worthy. No, but that's her truck. Can't let it get too ugly for her. So we'll fix it back up. We had it looking really good a couple years ago, but you use it on a farm and eventually you're bound to hit some shit. Anyways, someone did ask me about that tractor, and we do have the fuel pump in it. Christoph just has to literally finish it. I got priorities with the shit tank, so that little tractor is just sitting there. And we got to get the tire fixed. So he's putting grass knives in this. The corn knives were still good.
No.
They were junk?
But,
I thought those were new ones you put in this year.
no, not 2 years. They did 2 cuts and they got under a quarter left, and I'm not wasting the time just switching back and forth.
Okay, so it's getting new corn knives this fall.
This fall.
So Roger is all done with this.
Yes.
Christoph's going to finish up the last couple stuff.
So we can get out. We can bring a trailer in. That's probably the main reason why I wanted this out.
Yeah,
So
Alex's dump trailer's got to come in. We got to pull the dump piston off that.
Look on the shit tanks.
Yeah.
So. Alright, he is got the front almost cut. He said he has about 2 more feet. And then it should fall. We'll open the door up for a minute. There's some pressure in here, so it's just pretty nasty. Sides blew out. Look at that, ain't no shit tank anymore. Look at that. Should have done that first. You would have had a lot easier welding in there.
No, because it don't.
Oh, I guess, yeah, it would have all moved on you. This way it doesn't move, yeah. True that.
Okay.
You can say goodbye to the camera for a little bit.
Alright. I just cut the first 2 sheets, so we're going to make the tank 2 feet longer just to maximize on the steel we have. It'll be a 6,300 gallon tank after. I got the first piece grinded, so Christoph's going to help place it and tack it. Or Ferdy. He wants to see this.
You got a level to make sure everything is going to be perfect?
My eyeballs.
Your eyeballs? Oh boy. second. I'm gonna hold it somewhere. So.
You're in the center.
I'm pretty good at this.
This is some Pakistan welding right here. Close your eyes.
Give it a love. Yep.
Okay, I guess you had the jack underneath it.
Yeah.
I guess you'll have to just take a tape measure and make sure you're trying to.
Well, yeah, I put the jack there, so once we tack it,
But we're gonna have to go up a little bit with it because
yeah.
the tank goes uphill.
So I set this to the back of this height, but we have to actually go up.
I mean, if you grinded it flush in one section, you can put a plate.
Yes.
And just
I was just gonna stick a piece of steel, a level underneath, and
Underneath
Yeah,
it.
I guess underneath.
I have one on the wall somewhere.
That's what you could have done. Weld a piece of steel.
Yeah.
Tack welded it.
But what if I took the? What if I take the paint off?
Yeah, well.
You go as long as who cares? It's just an idea. No, he's not grabbing my side.
Is that Matt though?
There we go. So yeah, we'll jack this up a little bit. You saw that right there. The eyeball levels, that's what we're going off of. And we'll make this work. I got one more, stick on this side.
I got the next pieces. For here. I'm just tacking stuff. Throwing this camera around.
Yeah. So,
Did you eyeball it?
well, I mean, there's not really
I'll
much.
tack that and then we'll just put the steel through.
Tack the bottom first so you don't weld my.
And my piece of steel. Alright.
I think that's good right there.
So this 90 bar is my
Gauge.
level gauge.
It should be pretty good because
Look at that.
good enough. You run a little tacky tack. Good thing is, shit's thicker than water, so
Anything that I suck at welding will
it'll plug up.
it'll fix itself.
Tack the top. Do the other side.
So this is gonna add 500 gallons.
More than that.
It's a 58,
Oh, yeah, it's like
and it's gonna be a 63 when we're done.
Yeah.
We were gonna do 3 feet, but
You don't want too much weight in the back.
I don't know if the weight, because I could lift the axles, but the conserving the steel sheets that we got, it's just easier this way.
Do the
Bottom bit?
yeah, it's pretty flat in the
Are
bottom.
you farther back?
No, you gotta do it like that. Because even the front is like that. Oh.
He's like, okay, I'm on it.
Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good. Yeah. Thumb was right there.
Don't put your thumb where I'm welding.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
There's 4 more sections that'll go easy.
Yeah, I had the mask on because it does help with all this crap.
Yeah.
And then I forget I have it on for talking. Okay, so it's going together. I'm gonna tack weld it here and there a little bit, and then I'll cut the next section. It's probably gonna be 8 inches there to here, and we're just gonna build it like that. And we'll get most of it all laid out. The side's gonna be a little harder because you can see it's a little rounded. I'll figure that out as I go. We're doing the square stuff right now. This morning, I got a couple more plates put on. Everything right now is just kind of tack welded on, little stuff here and there to make sure it don't move. This jack's holding it pitched up so that way it's sitting level. And it's kind of going pretty fast since I can make double of everything because it's all the same. Now I'm to this is going to be the tricky part since everything, the side's a little round and the top's definitely rounded. And because I cut the ceiling off, the top popped open, put a ratchet strap on it. I welded a washer on both sides and I measured it, got that sitting flush. Well, I say flush, but I should say level? I don't know. It's not rounded anymore. So it's running how it should be on the sides, and now I gotta figure out, I'm gonna have to get a skid steer here, and I'll probably weld a little chain onto the sheets because the way I cut it, I left a little lip on the front so I can set the front of that steel plate on. It'll be a 4x8, and it should be able to put that whole plate on, and it'll extend the 2 feet that I already put on the back here because I only went 6 feet off the top instead of 8 feet to put a whole sheet there. So I'm kind of doing the ceiling all in one shot. And the thing with these plates, they're not exactly 4x8s. They're 8 foot long, but I believe it's like 1.5 inches wider than it should be, which is kind of weird because I'm normally a 4x8 sheet is 4x8. It's like 4 foot and an inch or two. I don't remember. I measured it yesterday night because I realized it when I was trying to make these plates 2 feet. I was just gonna put a nice slice down the middle of the 4x8 and then I could just measure this length, but I'd always have the 2 feet extension. But now I had to double cut everything, which that kind of sucked on that part. But I think it's actually going to be nice when I do the ceiling because these sections, it's all press fit sections. So when they built these tanks, they put in a form and they press it. So it's a 8x8 section sheets they use. So from that corner all the way to that corner, that's 8 feet. From that lip all the way to the center is 8 feet, and from that lip to there is 8 feet. So it's not always 4 feet from there to there. 4 feet is from the very center and then like that much up from the bottom. So with me having a couple extra inches and me leaving a little bit of steel, I'm hoping I can make it work. Otherwise, I'm gonna weld it perfectly on the bottom and I'll add some stripping on the top. And then once it's all said and done, I'll probably have to extend this frame. I really didn't want to because it's just more work, but it is going to be a seam, so we'll get that done.
Pull the truck out.
Yeah, we didn't record this, but 3 people, some pipe wrenches.
We'll get her done.
Yeah, I think I recorded. I come along that together to get it to, or not come along, ratchet strap it together to get the right tank width. And then you can see this is still bent, so once I weld the top plate on, I can suction that together with a ratchet strap or a come along, whatever one it needs. The front is rounded now, but the back of the plate isn't. Then Marcus really wanted the pick right down here. He's not done working on it. On the teeth for the beater, some bolts are missing. Just when it hits a stone, or normally a stone snaps a bolt, kind of acts like a shear bolt for the tooth. And Christoph needs to get the chopper out of the shop because it's all done. So he's moving that. Ferdy just got done hooking up the white truck to the diller because tomorrow is technically April 1st. As you can see, it's raining. We won't be spreading, but our manure pit up at Doe's is really low and there's not too much to do. We'll have Philip haul some manure up there just to fill that pit up there. And Ferdy just finished up this 8-inch manure pump.
Yeah, we'll fuel it up.
Yep.
Dirty.
You gotta take the stuff off the weights. Yeah, so she'll be ready to roll.
Another air chuck.